Okay, this is another video for Matt and Jeremy. I'm going to play a quick golf match here between two of my accounts and try and walk through some of the things that I'm doing and show you some of the variables that are in the game. Some of the parts I'll have to go quick because each shot is limited to 40 seconds. And so when I'm talking too much, I'll use up time. So bear with me. So here, now we're playing the Oasis hole number 8, which is a par 4. And I'm recording on this screen. It is my other screen's turn first. So here you can see, get that out of the way. Here you can see the wind is pointing at 2.7 miles per hour at what we call a 1030 degree angle. And you can see my opponent is playing with the Extra Mile 8, and he is using the Marlin ball. I'm going to click on that ball, and you can see he's got some topspin that he can apply, some backspin, and they're different. Note that the stats are different. And then he's got a little bit of side spin that he could apply as well. I'm going to go ahead and time out on purpose. And we're going to come back to this screen here. So now it's going to be Ken's turn to shoot because the last ball ran out of time. And now you can see, whereas before the wind was at 2.7, now it's at 2.2. Now what I'm going to do is change this ball, as an example, to the Kingmaker ball, which, note the wind, how the wind went down to 1.4, because the Kingmaker has wind resistance of 3, which is 35%. Now I'm not going to really use that because that's an expensive ball to use. So I'm just going to stick with the basic ball, and you can see the wind is back at 2.2. So as you're getting ready to take your shot, you would need to line it up, and you need to adjust for the wind. The wind is going to push this target right here 2.2 miles per hour in this direction. I'm going to come back to this hole after the timeout. Now it's last ball's turn again. Oh, now look how the wind changed to 4.6 at what we call 9 o'clock, and now it's at 4.6 miles an hour. So at 4.6 miles an hour, with the accuracy of this club, it's going to push it about 2.5 rings to the left. So I am just going to leave that right smack in the center and hit. And you can see how the bullseye is in the middle. I'm going to leave that right there. But I'm going to take my shot, and hopefully we can hit perfect. Okay, I pulled it a little bit to the left. But look where that ball landed. And now we're going to have Ken go here. Now we're looking at 5.6 miles an hour. Again, it's because we're playing with a basic ball. And I'm just going to leave it set up right smack in the middle. And I am going to take my shot. And hopefully I can hit it perfect and not pull it like I did the last one. There we go. I pulled it a little bit right. But again, now watch where this thing is going to land. Look how far left that landed off the center. That's because the wind pushed it from right to left. So that's what the wind does in the game. And that's an important part of the game to know. Not so much at these lower levels, but at the higher levels it is. Now we're here towards our second shot. And we've got a tough shot over the water here coming out of the rough, which is never any fun. I'm just going to go ahead and hit and see if we can get this up towards the green. certainly would never play these holes this way in real life. And again, I'm in the rough on this shot. You'll see I'm being forced. Oh no, here I actually stayed in the fairway. So I'm using a wood, the hammerhead. And we'll just use some backspin, landing in the rough here. Note the wind is going to move it this way. I need to adjust backwards a little bit. And then I'm going to apply a little bit of curl. It's another stat that's on each club, is how much curl can the club have. Okay, there we carried it onto the green, which is good. That will be an easy putt. Okay, again, see this wind is 4.9. I'm using the rough iron again. And that's going to push it a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I'm just going to kind of set up outside the cup. And if I can hit it perfect, this should come close to going in. And there we have it. Hard to hit perfect with the rough iron and sand wedge because the needle moves so much quicker. And now Ken will putt this ball for his par as well to tie the hole. Now what we're going to do is go into something called the shootout. Most one-on-one matches end in a tie. So what happens next is the game takes you into what's called a shootout, and it's a one-shot shootout. Closest to the pin wins. And this is where most matches end up, is shootouts. And that's why there's so much value in the app that I want to write. Okay, the sniper is there. We're just going to put a bunch of backspin on that sniper. I'm going to adjust up a little bit. And it's only a 1 mile an hour wind, so that's not a lot. Hit that perfect, which is good. Landed that very nicely, 0.66 yards from the pin. That's a great shot. I wasn't even trying. That's going to be tough to beat. Now it's Ken's turn. And note he's got the hammerhead, whereas last ball had a sniper 9. So knowing how to play these holes with the various clubs is important. So notice I've got the basic ball, the wind's coming this way, and I've got a hammerhead on a hole. So I'm just going to hit. There's no way I'm going to get what's inside 0.66. I'd be shocked if I do. It's going to be long. I don't have enough backspin on that club. So you can see last ball is going to win that shootout by quite a large margin. You can see that right here. So I'm gonna sit here for a bit on the finishing screen. So the shootouts are, again, where most matches go to, and the shootout holes get harder as the tours advance. This was a Tour 4 course that we played, so the winds weren't all that hard, and the holes are easier. But as you advance up into Tours 7, 8, 9, 10, the winds get higher, which means you need more adjustment on the bullseye, and the holes are harder. So learning how to play the holes is really important, and that is the whole genesis of the application that I want to write, is to allow a user to, as an example, search on this course, hole number 8, for a wind coming at like 2.5 miles an hour, which is what the wind that we had on this hole, using a Marlin ball. So you can see the number of options that we're going to have to search on in the application. It's just going to be enormous. So ideally, we're going to have thousands and thousands of videos in the application if this is successful. So I'm going to pause this now. More later. Now I'm going to, my next video is going to kind of walk through a prototype that I have for the application. Very rough prototype.